Thank you very much. In February this year, our Prime Minister and our government presented an ocean strategy called New Growth, Proud History. And our government's ambition is that Norway should be the #1 country in the world when it comes to ocean space industries, as we call them. As far as we know, this is the first ocean strategy made by any nation, so we are quite proud of it. First, a few words on Innovation Norway. Who are we? Well, Innovation Norway, we are funded by the Norwegian government to develop Norwegian businesses, startups, enterprises with capacity for growth, and business clusters. Since we spend Norwegian taxpayers' money, of course the government wants us to increase the value creation in Norway. But when we have offices in countries like India, we are here because we think that with win-win situations, we can create economic growth both for Norway and for India and for other countries. We have 9 offices in 7 countries. We have 2 offices here in India, one in Delhi and one in Mumbai. We have 2 offices in China, in Beijing and Shanghai. And we are in Hanoi, Singapore, Jakarta, Seoul, and Tokyo. In 2015, with the Paris Agreement, we had a turning point. We need to look into what we are doing with our environment and the way we work with sustainability. We have United Nations Sustainability Goals. They are the foundation for the strategy of Innovation Norway and Norway working with businesses. If we are to hand over a green planet and a blue planet to the kids, to the children that lit the lamp here yesterday, we need to take this seriously, and businesses are a part of the solution. So, I will not go into details here about Indian history. We heard about it yesterday, we have heard about it today, about the proud history of maritime and ocean India. So here we are, the Norwegians. How can we contribute? What do we have to offer? What do we have except fjords, mountains, and harsh environment? It was mentioned by a speaker before me that our ocean economy, our economic zone is pretty big. And we too have a proud history. This is a stone carving, 3,000–4,000 years old. This country was actually covered by ice 11,000 years ago. This carving is 3,000–4,000 years old, and the biggest vessel here has 2 chiefs in each end and a crew of 48 people. So this was a pretty big vessel at this time. This map shows how the Vikings, the Norwegians, but also the Swedes and the Danes used the waters 1,000 years ago. We went out deep sea. We went inland with inland waterways. It was mentioned yesterday that Columbus discovered America. Well, he might have done the discovery for himself, but if you ask any Norwegian, we would claim that it was the Viking Leif Erikson who actually discovered America 500 years before Columbus. So, Norwegian priorities. As I mentioned, we are concerned with the importance of sustainable development of our international ocean industries. And we strongly believe in the research and knowledge-based approach to policies and framework. In Asia, in 3 of our offices in Asia, we have, in Innovation Norway, also a researcher in cooperation with the Norwegian Research Council. We have one of them one of those in India in our Delhi office. That is Miss Inger Vikandal sitting over there. And we are very proud of that. And she's here to work with research and research cooperation with India. We, as mentioned, we work with agreements in the Atlantic on fish quotas. And Norway being not a superpower, international development of ocean policies is extremely important to us. I will now go into some, just mention a few examples of what we do in Norway and how we look upon central elements of the blue economy. This vessel was built by Norwegian shipyard Kleven. It was delivered this summer to the Bears from South Africa. And this vessel is going to do, let's call it deep sea mining. It will work down to water depth of 150 meters. It will look for diamonds outside Orange River in Namibia in sediments that have been there for 3 million years. There are some challenges with deep sea mining that we think is important to take seriously. One is the environmental challenges, because this deep sea mining is not always accurate science. It can lead to damaging of the seabed, and the life in the waters needs to be taken seriously. And there might be territorial challenges as well to who actually owns the resources on the seabed. So our approach is that more research is needed, and that needs to start now. We cannot wait until we need what's in the seabed. We have to start now to get an overview of what's there, who can utilize it, and how to do it in a sustainable way. Offshore wind. We don't have any particular incentives in Norway to develop offshore wind in Norwegian waters. Pretty much because we have plenty of energy from Norwegian hydropower. So our focus in offshore wind is utilizing our big, rather huge actually, offshore fleet to install and to operate and to do service on offshore windmills and wind turbines. And in this industry, we look at the North Sea as our home market. So we cooperate with the Danes, with Germany. We install the offshore wind park outside UK. Fisheries. The quota system was covered by Mr. Danielsen. This is just an example of a brand new factory trawler. This was delivered, it was named now early September. And of course there are some challenges with a big vessel like that. More than 80 meter long, investment of some $50 million US. Because it's not a lot of people on board this vessel. It might be a crew of 15, and it takes a lot of fish. So we don't want too many of those vessels. This fleet is being developed in cooperation between the businesses and the Norwegian government. And within fisheries, as mentioned, we are concerned with international regulations, international agreements, and we think it's extremely important to handle illegal fishing. There is an agreement banning illegal fishing that has been signed by quite a few nations now, and agreements like that are important for the sustainable growth of the blue oceans. This is a huge industry in Norway, and it is going to be bigger. Norway is the second largest exporter of seafood in the world, and the export value last year was 11.6 billion US. It was on one of the pictures from my previous speaker, but I would like to repeat that more than 1/3 of Norwegian GDP actually comes from the oceans. 70% of our export, and we have an extremely export-oriented economy. 70% comes from the ocean. To be able to grow further, fish health, sustainability is crucial. This brings along with it equipment suppliers and technology suppliers that contribute in the global aquaculture industry, also in other species than what we have in Norway. This is, let's call it an ordinary Norwegian fish farm. To be allowed to have a farm like that, the farmer needs a license. The license is there from the government, research-based, to make sure that we have proper fish health, food safety, and that we protect the environment. So there is a rather big cost to this license. The good thing for the farmer having this license is that he knows that when he invests a lot of money in a system like that, he has predictability that he has his license. He will not get a lot of farmers coming in the same fjord or the fjord next to him. So he can make that investment because he knows that he can do business for many years. There are environmental challenges with having a system like this inside the fjord. So we want to bring Norwegian aquaculture offshore. We want to put it out in the open waters. And so we have something called development licenses that the innovative investor can have if he or she comes up with good ideas for offshore farming. The picture to the top left here has been built. It has been built in China. It is now in Norway, and to start to operate within not too long. And that yellow construction is an interesting mix of technology from oil and gas industry, from the maritime industry, and from the aquaculture industry. This yellow structure has a diameter of 110 meters. The height of that yellow construction is 68 meters, which basically means that if you put that in a football arena, it will be bigger than the arena. It will be bigger than the pitch. And 68 meters high. It's a huge construction. It will take 1.5 million fish and a biomass of 8.3 million kilo of biomass. It's huge. In this cage, to produce maximum amount of fish in this cage, the investor needs 8 licenses. Of course, that means that this investment is 100 million USD. He needs predictability, and he gets the predictability from the government. So I'm coming back to this picture and this statement by our Prime Minister. How can we develop in this direction? Well, first, our strong industrial clusters will be crucial for us to succeed. We must be able to develop technology and know-how needed to harvest new species and utilize byproducts from traditional catch and farm products. We will use the ocean space to develop not only new products, but new industries. Second, we need to safeguard our efforts within research, development, and innovation. We need institutions and companies that are keen on developing solutions the world has not yet seen. Thirdly, we must continue to be policy pioneers. As a nation, Norway has shown that we can manage our resources well, it being fish, oil, or gas. But it takes hard work to stay in the forefront. In the future, the ocean will be a source of food, medicine, and energy as we harvest and grow new species and find new ways of producing energy. We will produce medicines and health products not yet seen from the resources found in the oceans. The oceans are the key to sustainable development of our planet. United Nations sustainability goals clearly gives us directions on where to sail. We need food, transportation, and a more sustainable usage of the globe. And we think that Norway is in a pole position to continue to set the course, and we are here to participate and to contribute and to cooperate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sir.